Obviously, the 700 billion staggering figure bailout bill now in front of Congress. Would you vote for it as it's presently constructed? Why or why not?
I have not had a chance to see it in writing, so I have to examine that. I pointed out yesterday that I think it has to have several components. One is that we absolutely have to have oversight. We need the best minds in America to oversight. This is the largest bailout in history. $1 trillion as much. We need people like Warren Buffett and Mike Bloomberg and Mitt Romney to have an oversight of this. We can't put that responsibility in the hands of one person. I think the second thing that's very important is that we make sure that the taxpayers are going to get rewarded for this over time as our economy recovers. And I think also it's very important that we have a oversight that is effective and transparent. It's got to be all transparent as well. And finally, the homeowners have to be a very big part of this bailout, because it's the homeowners and the Freddie and Fannie and the cronyism and old boy network in Washington and Wall Street that started this.
To the thousands of Ohioans who have lost jobs in recent years when their company went bankrupt or folded up or closed up, I mean, how do you convince them that this bailout ultimately is in their best interest?
Well, I have to see it and be convinced myself. I'll be looking at it. I have not seen the details of it. I've had conversations with Secretary Paulson, who I admire a great deal, and we have to act. There's no doubt about that. The question is that I've got to examine the details of this.
Are you worried this is going to get stampeded through, rushed through without proper scrutiny?
I am worried about that, but I also understand the need for urgency. So it's a careful balancing act here. I expect to be making a decision on this very soon, and I understand the urgency and the fragility of the markets. But we don't want to do something that just bails out Wall Street, that really has Main Street at heart.
Many people in Ohio remember the chapter some years ago of Lincoln Savings and your involvement with Charles Keating and trying to draw some comparisons between then and now. I mean, is there some relevance of that chapter, which I think you have acknowledged was maybe not your proudest moment?
Well, I think the key to it is that Bob Bennett, who was the investigator, said that I had done nothing wrong and that I was kept in that investigation for political purposes. He happens to be a Democrat, by the way, but so, look, it was a very unhappy period of my life, but the fact is that I moved forward, and I have been the greatest voice for reform and against corruption in Washington of anybody.
Was that a learning experience for you?
Well, I think it was an experience that obviously that you will learn from every experience. But the point is that I have been in the forefront of every reform and bipartisan effort in Washington in recent years, and I've reached across the aisle to do that, and I've taken on my own party. Senator Obama has never taken on his own party on any issue.
Okay, just a couple of quick walk-off questions here.
Sure.
No Child Left Behind. Would you be in favor of reinstating that or renewing that?
Absolutely, but it needs to be fixed. We've got to have the lessons learned.
Okay, and your thoughts about charter schools? So the critics who say siphons off resources from struggling public schools.
Charter schools work. Charter schools provide the competition necessary to improve public education. We're seeing that all over America today. They provide the competition. They're not maybe always better. They provide competition. New Orleans today, they've got over 30 charter schools. Guess what? The quality of education is going up because parents have choice, and public schools have competition.
All right. To those who have some doubts about Governor Palin's ability to be that close, heaven forbid something should happen, I mean, assure them that in your mind she is competent to the task.
She has my worldview. She is incredibly smart. She is a governor of the largest state in America, but she is also well-versed, better than anybody else, on one of the major challenges America faces, and that's energy. She took on the oil companies. She was responsible for a $40 billion natural gas pipeline to the lower 48 that's going to relieve a lot of our energy requirements. She's She is really, really good, and she understands and shares my worldview and America's role in the world.
All right, Senator McCain, we've exhausted our allotted time. Thanks very much for the opportunity to talk with you.